Hello and welcome. It is the 22nd of August 2019. My name is Derek, and this is the Money Charts channel. And like always, all bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. All right, then. Start off with ETC, Ethereum Classic crossed against Bitcoin. And at the 669 handle, or 66,000 Satoshi, since this is a six decimal number that we're looking at. So two zeros are missing. And within it, we've seen the price action have this low on August the 19th, August the 20th even, on near 500, and now it's went to near 700, a move of 40%. It's not bad, 40%. And then from this low in here, which is yesterday afternoon, about 587 to like almost 700, that's about 20%. Yeah. Okay. But a straight up move nonetheless, a spectacular move overall within this market. For we had, and the key word is had. I'm not going to draw it in, but draw the trend line that connects this low with this low. Yeah, right now that trend line would be somewhere around 614. This trend line here connecting this high and this high is still implied. It's just been a relatively decent move. So this is a single hour chart. If you have, it's just you can see that as well as a 60-minute here. On the shorter term, this thing has just been going for a while, but we can see it's starting to pull back. It's the first time on the 4 it's been below the 18 average of lows. Well, it had a brief period here last night at 9 p.m. It's 9:08 as I'm doing this video. 3 hour chart, well, we're getting above this high, and the high is from late July. And we didn't really resist in here. We had a little bit of resistance where we came from. It did so in here, but it was just a little bit. Comes back down, and most certainly a great breakout move from this high. Whether this run is over, whether this and whether this move is over, I don't know. And I mean the two different differentials. One for the entirety, maybe this is a high we don't see for a while or ever, what yada yada. And yet again, maybe with short term it's a high, and yet maybe in a day, 3 or 4 or 5, 8 later, it breaks it. So that kind of stuff there. Where else does it look like we can see in here? Well, we again got above this level of resistance. The holding of this 18 is just extremely important. It did so in here, even though it had this failed breakdown. That's all it did. With breaking down below the lows, you're basically allowed one leg for general hold, and that was one leg lower. It's extremely overextended from this point. Volume is high, and that's always going to be the case when you have these decent sized rallies like this. But when it comes down to it, how big of a move is this? It's okay, it's above the 18 on the daily. Levels not seen since early July. Levels were breaking down into at the end of June, meaning late June, it's like, oh my goodness, it's all the way down to 670. Now, oh my goodness, it's all the way up to 670. And on the 3 day, of course, these coins have been getting their asses kicked from this 2018 high. And I'm going to have to show a different exchange to show data before this. But before we do that, what has it tried to do? What has it what's been going on since the high? And the high was early February 2018. Well, there's this support that was established. Gets above the 18. And here's your two failed breakouts in here. And big decline. Tries to get above it here. Successfully corrects it. Then the retest of it. But it doesn't successfully correct this. This level of support gets resisted on 2 different occasions. Breaks the established support, and we haven't even, and that's maybe where the next level might be. Right around 850. This is where this failed level of support happens to come into play. So now let's take a look at this same time frame but a different exchange because I can get more data this way. So either Poloniex or Bittrex. Let's do Bittrex. Who sold it down there? Wow. Although I did have Fibonacci lines on that one too. But anyway. This this key level here is at like the even 10 number. You can see there's extra decimals here because there's 8 on this. And yeah, that's either that of a failed breakdown from here or we're probably going to resist this level. That's really how I look at it from here. The big move that it had was this rally in here. But what was interesting about Ethereum Classic compared to the rest of the crypto markets is what didn't happen in 2018 here. And what didn't happen was a spectacular rally. This thing here went before from the 100 handle to the 800 handle. It had 8x move. A lot of coins had 8x moves in here. And a lot of coins got their asses kicked like this. But pretty much all the coins that did, a lot of them came close to this high. A lot of them beat it though. A lot of them made new highs or came close to it. This one, it was barely even able to get above these resistance highs in here. Okay. Let's just take a look at those numbers, those lines that I had in on the Bittrex, because I put them in at some point. They would have been classic historical Fibonacci from this low to this high. Okay. So then, what would the down target have been? I would have, the way I've been doing this is I don't pick what the price action goes up to. I pick the 61.8, I would think. So I got 400 and 100. So that's what I'd be thinking. So it's going to be 4 to the power of negative 0.618 multiply 1,000. That would be 425 basis points. Okay then. Whether those numbers will come into play, 425 would mean that we're not quite there yet. Because that is most certainly a good pierce above where we're at 500 right now. But that's just theory, I would suppose, the Fibonacci as well. But they've worked pretty well in the past as well. Let's move on to Tron. Double bottom. Hasn't got above the neckline though. The neckline is 175, which it hit here. A double bottom is basically two U, two V-shaped formations. So you hit this bottom. It's not a double bottom here. It's just a test of previous support. At least that's how I call it. Now it's a double bottom. Breaking this resistance, well, clear break, I would suppose, is between 177 and 178. And these coins have been getting their asses kicked. We take a look at this on the longer term. Okay, way up here was 280. That was back on July the 20th. And then here was 450 on the start of June. Daily chart, well, we have up at the start of the year, it was like 800. And 3-day chart before was in that little bit of a range. And don't know if I'm going to get a better chart if I put this in. A little bit better, yeah. See, well, why that helps me now is I can see that from a break of this key support that it's already had a good leg lower. Whether it's going to calculate to the Fibonacci. I mean, I'd be doing the exact same thing I did with ETC, which would be like 287 to somewhere around 620. But obviously, they have been just having bad times since. In this case, it was early 2019. But what was going on interesting during this time frame here? When Bitcoin was going down, and now let's bring up Bitcoin. But back in here, when it was going down like this, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for the altcoins against Bitcoin. But it really was back in here, though. When Bitcoin was matching new previous lows, other coins were making new lows. And then during this all sideways stuff, where Bitcoin was just consolidating in the 3,000s or so range, altcoins were a lot of times were going up in that spot. And whether they topped again in here, wherever else, a lot of altcoins did top right around this period in here. Well, that's just the way it's been. And in viewing it via the Bitcoin dominance, we can see April the 1st right in here gets above 42. Big move, big move. Well, April the 1st in here was right around here. So from this support low, big, big move. Bitcoin dominance topped when? Oh, it was roughly around middle of September. And back to the Bitcoin chart, where's the middle of September in here? Roughly around here. So at this point in here, that's when the altcoin decline stopped, even during this whole part in here. Now, it was really wild, and there were situations during this decline where some altcoins did lose worse. But again, generally speaking, it was a surprise to me to see altcoins doing really bad versus Bitcoin here compared to I was expecting it in a spot like this. But I was also expecting this break to happen way back on so many different occasions because the break back before. What did I? Okay, yeah. Now I'm moving it over. So before, when you had this, okay, it was a little concerning. Back in March of 2018, it was going to break it. Because we already tested this, we resisted the 18, nice little resistance here, and the breakdown. Okay, well, okay, it didn't resist the lows, it didn't really resist much of the highs. But when we had this failure here, oh boy, then we resisted. I mean, how are we not soon going below to 3,000 here? I was thinking back in June of 2018, and it supports it. Gets it above it, but we're playing this lower high game here, and we can see this was again much clearly lower. And every time going below it, okay, are we ready to go? Well, resisting the 18, are we going to pull down? Nope, but the lower high game in here. And then this was just the sickest. This little run in here from September the 7th to the completion of this on November the 9th. So for 2 consecutive months of this microscopic move before it all, of course, went down. Now when it comes down to it, it's a retracement game. And we've been here before. A lot of times we are in that for markets. All markets are a lot of times always in some sort of retracement mode, which is means you had a key high, you had a key low, whichever came first, whatever. In this case, obviously the high came first. Don't know why it's not letting me draw a line in here. Why is it not? Okay, I pushed the wrong button. So we have this retracement from this high to this low. Again, we've been there before. As we had this high. And we had pretty much this low. And this is the breakout point in here. It started September 2015, but during a lot of this run going on in here, what was going on was altcoins not doing so well. And for a significant period of time at that, when I consider I'm starting to drive this like in March of 2016, and the right hand part of this is December of it, close to a full year, but even still, the coins never really started to get going until roughly around in here, until it got to its previous high, interestingly. And then when this was going on, from this low to this high, Bitcoin was getting its ass kicked versus altcoins for this run. That was Bitcoin going from 1200 to 28. So better than double, but not quite triple. Other coins were 10xing, 20, 40, 50, 60xing that time. From this point to really the top was a situation of Bitcoin dominance. There were retracement levels where altcoins would make, we'll call lower lows, whatever, would make failed retracements along the way. But it was Bitcoin dominating this run in here. Now, a lot of this meant situations, okay, Bitcoin's up 15% today. Okay, this altcoin's down 9, this altcoin's down 12. It was a lot of that was going on during that time frame. And then the one very quick move, which finished right around here. From the top to about here, altcoins had a huge move. Which meant if you were trading Bitcoin and that's your main holding, this was selling opportunities, obviously, and markets did go lower, but it was also selling opportunities here at 4,000 as well. But if you were holding altcoins, a lot of altcoin holders during this run would have been a little bit of depression in the sense of, okay, Bitcoin's going up, but my coin's not. And I would be selling if the price was going higher. And then December 10th to about January 15 or 20 comes, and their altcoins are big, and Bitcoin prices during that time frame, where was it around January 15? They're about 12,000. So no, it wasn't the same as 20, but it kind of was better because the value of your gains were so high that it was like, oh my goodness, the value of a lot of people's portfolios in here when they were trading the altcoins were just really high, and that's were. And of course, markets have had that retracement. Of course, since then, Bitcoin prices are barely down, and altcoin prices are severely down. Case in point, Ripple. Okay, well, here we have this going from a little better than a half a penny, 0.005, say 2/3 of a penny, up to 30 some odd cents, but congesting at over 20. This top, May 16th, the breakout, early March, normal. And then we've seen this going sideways as I was mentioning, Bitcoin going up. So against the altcoin, against Bitcoin, it was getting its ass kicked because Bitcoin was doing so well. And then December 3rd, a little early on the move, December 9th even. And this is the 3-day, but there's the top all the way up to here, and the price goes up to 280 from 24 cents. A lot of coins did that. So now the price action is down about 90% or so from that high. Or from here, it's up about 40 times, depending on how you want to look at it. Glass half full, half empty kind of deal. But I'm a technicalist, and I oftentimes I'm looking at my glass of water right now that I know you can't see it. It's about 68% full. And in this case, this isn't half full, half empty. This is a 68% full based on the retracement. So as we look at Bitcoin dominance now, we had this high here on August the 9th. The last breakout low of July 30th. We have this low. We have this established high, and we got this uptrend. So we're kind of correcting this move, and either a break of this resistance here, or really a break of this support, and then we'll be looking for a significant play there. But as these markets go, maybe we have to get up to $20,000 Bitcoin before the altcoins go. I don't know. But if Bitcoin breaks that resistance, I'd be very surprised to see altcoins stand in the dust. If anything, I would think that they would put Bitcoin in the dust, given as just like before, where Bitcoin had like 150% gain. Maybe it does it again. Oh, Bitcoin goes from 20,000 to 50. Yeah, yay. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Where other altcoins will do better. That could be possible. If history is any type of mechanism, well, then it wouldn't be a surprise if such is the case. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.